Let's go over your back squat. So again, same rules apply as other squat variations. It's just that we're racked on the back position now. So you won't be as upright. You're gonna work a little bit more of the posterior chain, but you still want to make sure that everything's working together in a coordinated fashion. So a general rule of thumb when setting up your squat station and adjusting the height of the J-pegs, you want to set the height to be at least as low as your underarm level, so below your shoulders. And the reason for this is when you start to squat and you get to heavier and heavier loads, you are not going to be standing as tall under load as you do when you're standing straight up. So a typical rule of thumb is set it up, always err on the side of caution and go lower if you're in doubt, because you always can squat it up to unrack it. But when you're getting tired, especially when you're walking forward and you're slightly bent, you don't want to be trying to place one side of the bar on at a time, or definitely don't want to be kind of trying to tiptoe, and it's the risk for missing the rack and also going off balance. So you want to make sure that you set the height accordingly. Always err on the side of being lower just to be cautious. If you're squatting with a partner, make sure that you have it set to the shortest person just so that everyone will be safe whenever they're squatting. So for this exercise, let's place the bar on your upper traps, not on that bone, the spine of your scap, not on that bony landmark. You should be on your upper traps, on the muscle belly itself. So let's first get into that rack position. You are going to squat underneath the bar, place it on your upper traps, make sure you're centered, grab the bar as narrow as possible and create some tension in your back and your core to stand up. From there, you are going to set your feet, and for this, I want your feet pointing straight ahead. I like to use this or utilize this stance to help to facilitate more ankle stability, range of motion, activation, and also for you to use your hips a little bit more in that jump stance. From here, let's keep the bar nice and level, and you are going to control tension on the way down, and then get to the bottom position and push back up. You are going to think tripod contact, good foot contact on the ground, pressing through the heel, ball of the big toe, ball of the little toe, nice and evenly. The second thing that I want you to focus on is bracing your core. Think, there's a lot of cues. Think if you are getting hit in the stomach. Think if you're pulling your abs and everything inwards to create that support and that stiffness in your core. And you want to maintain that throughout the exercise. Your breathing is going to play a key role in this as well. Take a big breath at the top. You want to hold it through the range, and you're not going to exhale under load until you're higher than a quarter squat position. So if you're squatting down, you're going to hold your breath. You're gonna push back up. At the very top of the exercise, that's where you can exhale if needed, and always focus on taking the breath at the top of the exercise just to create more intra-abdominal pressure and to help facilitate that core stability that's needed. As far as feel, I want you to focus on two main things. Focus on using your lower body, keeping that core stiff, and make sure that you're sitting your hips down. You don't want to stop moving your hips and then just turning into kind of a good morning or a deadlift fashion. You want to make sure that you're sitting your hips down. Once you bottom out, then it's time to come up. Second thing is that I want you to focus on using both legs evenly, especially when it gets more challenging. You need to be aware and feel if you're favoring one side, if you're shifting, if you're rotating. You want to make sure both legs are doing its job to keep you centered and also going down nice and smooth and pushing back up nice and evenly. The last thing to be aware of is that if you don't have adequate ankle mobility, it's always a good idea to elevate your heels a little bit as you're working on your ankle mobility. This will just help you improve your squat mechanics and help you to strengthen in the right way because your heels are elevated. So again, you can step on plates. They even have heel wedges that are meant to elevate your heels. So these are the heel wedges here, right? You can put it down on the ground, and this will also help you to create better foot contact with the ground. Those are the key points of your back squat, and I want to emphasize again that it's more about how you're doing it and how you're controlling this exercise, more so than just going through the motions.